This little hack on its own has reduced the bounce rates of a homepage by up to 40% for ResMed and others. Personalization is really paramount to this whole thing across the buyer journey. We need to be thinking about, as growth hackers, how do we talk to an audience of one instead of an audience of many? Because this personalization, this one-to-one communication is so important. This example here of British Airways is an exciting one. This is just a general billboard you would find in any city, but they've connected it to a beacon. So it changes all the time, like the planes flying over then trigger off the billboard, and straight away you can see that the plane, not only what type of plane it is, but the destination. And this has really helped and worked really, really well to have some interactivity with British Airways with this personalization of saying, like, you really want to be where that plane's going. You want to go on holiday if you're stuck in central London and looking at that particular billboard. So personalization is key. How do we do that? Well, here's an example of a typical website. Most websites sort of traditionally have been built for things like SEO. How do we make our wording more SEO friendly so Google can find us? But the big thing that's been missing is UX, is user experience, which is even if you can be found, the website won't necessarily work if it hasn't been designed for user experience. So the first thing you notice on this particular one, this is built on the HubSpot CMS, is the personalization in the top right-hand corner. So one thing we do know about someone when they come onto the website is the time that they're visiting. So based on the time clock of the particular computer, we can deliver a personalized message. So in this case, it's 6:50 p.m. Good evening. It's probably time, because this is ResMed, obviously all about sleep health and sleeping better. Maybe it's time, if you do want to have a coffee, to have a decaf. And we've got a series of these little messages. If it's 7 in the morning or midday or whatever, depending on when you visit the site, you'll actually get this little personalization token, a nice little touch, a nice, very easy growth hack. But straight away, it's creating that nice, warm, welcoming feeling to a stranger that's just come onto the website. The next thing is, instead of trying to look at the navigation bar and deciding on where do I go next, what am I actually looking for, we created the Solutions Finder. And we've tested this out on a number of different clients. This particular example here is for ResMed. And straight away when I come in, instead of me looking at the nav bar, I can actually have a conversation, if you like, with the website. I'm here for a solution for myself, my partner, a friend, or a family member. I'm actually here to treat my sleep apnea or stop my snoring, whatever it might be. And then based on clicking See My Solutions, the database built in the back end of the website will bring the relevant pages forward based on the conversation or the search that I've just put into the Solution Finder. This little hack on its own has reduced the bounce rates of a homepage by up to 40% for ResMed and others, because we're taking people straight into the heart of the website. We're taking them off of the homepage and taking them straight into it. And as anybody knows, any great website, one of the main things or criteria that you try and do is reduce your bounce rates. Once you're on the website, we also want to remove the friction. So instead of having a PDF that you've got to fill in a form to download, and then maybe you read it, maybe you don't, but it's very kind of like, built with friction because of, they're hard to read. You got to print them out sometimes. We have this thing called a flip book, where you can just look at it on a mobile, look at it on a desktop, and each of those radio buttons that we can have on there can actually link into various sections of the website as well for people to actually go in further and get more information. Once you reach kind of what we call the consideration stage, or the traditional middle of the funnel, we want to give people more interaction. This is where we want to use a growth hack where we're using calculators or assessment tools like this example here, where we're showing people the ability to be able to self-educate and find an answer for themselves. The sleep assessment is a free assessment that tells people about whether potentially they have a sleep disorder, which could be sleep apnea, which is obviously ResMed's main product that they can treat for. And if you're at a high risk, low risk, or mid risk, you'll get triaged off on a journey based on your result out of the assessment. Obviously, a high risk will go straight through to the sales team to start negotiating and discussing with you a solution for your potential sleep disorder. All of this information as well, remember, is being captured in the CRM. So anything people are filling in at this middle of the funnel, they're starting to qualify themselves, but they're also starting to give us information. So once they get to the bottom and they're talking to a salesperson, they can pull up the CRM and see all this great information of all of the form fields that people have done during this assessment stage. Another example of that is Real Insurance, who again want to qualify people at the middle of the funnel. So this kind of stuff is very much about how insurable are you. So people fill in, not only do they get an instant result, but it also measures how they went against other people that also filled in the same assessment tool. So it says that, you know, based on other respondents, you're in the top 20%, bottom 30%, whatever it might be, of your particular life stage. The important thing is that it actually triages them off a number of different journeys. So based on where they filled in their particular journey, they could be retiring, they could be growing a family, they could be changing their career, for example. We would then have a series of email nurtures that take them off on a different journey based on the criteria that they filled in. So again, this personalization is really taking them off and onto a journey that matters to them. Because if they're retiring, there's no point talking to them about, you know, a growing family or buying a new home, because they're obviously told us that that's the level of lifestyle that they're at that particular life stage that they're at that particular stage.